carry the light. Must be Christmas, must be tonight.
So I'm holding this CD. It's been nearly 40 years since this song was first released. Why did you want to remake it?
I've liked it for 40 years. I got a chance to do it, and I said, "Boy, I'm going to do this song."
So Gordon, tell me how this came about, that the two of you worked together on this.
Well, we went up to see the Good Brothers at the Havelock Festival this summer, and we met there and had a little get together. And at the time, he mentioned that he wanted to do the Pony Man, but he was also interested in doing a Christmas song by Robbie Robertson, one of his former band people. You know, the band.
The
song,
band.
the Christmas song, beautiful little song. And Ronnie had been wanting to do it, and they'd been talking about doing it, so we met afterwards at Ron's house out in Peterborough, and he'd been talking about doing the Pony Man, like he said, for the last
40 years.
35 years. I said, well, let's do it now, and we'll do both of them at once. And that's exactly what we did.
So tell me what it was like the day that you recorded this. What was it like for you to work together and to do this song?
Gordon is a legend of legends of legends. I mean, for him, I knew the minute he said he'd come in that I'd get some girls.
That's right.
That's what this was all about?
He would get the women.
We'll get the girls.
Yeah, we'll get the girls.
Gordon.
Tell me about the energy of that moment when you're performing the song. I mean, are you giving feedback? Are you sort of asking each other, how does it sound? What do you think?
Well, I'm asking Gordon all the time, you know, what he thinks, because he's the one that knows the music. He's had more hits than.
Well,
he's had more hits than Hank.
I enunciate. I enunciate well. You know, an Arkansas guy here, you know, doing a couple of nice ballads, but they're good beats, though. Good pulse, good stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't even know how to characterize your careers other than to say that they've been extraordinarily successful. And you both really started to experience that success back in the 60s and 70s. And today, when people think about that music, I think what stands out from the rest is that there was a lot of time a real message to what the songs were about, whether it was a political message or some other. And I'm wondering, do you hear that messaging in the songs that are being created today?
I don't. I can't understand that rap stuff myself. I don't understand how he'd ever sold a record, but, you know, I didn't think the Beatles were going to make it either, so. So what I think doesn't really count in some cases.
What about you, Gordon?
Well, I have trouble understanding the lyrics as well these days. And it's such an overall enterprise. You know, the records that are being produced now it's like the sound and the feel. You know, is more important than whether they really understand the words that clearly, or the defined lyricism that people used to use, that I used. It's there, but you got to listen for it.
What would you want to be saying today if you were as busy a songwriter today as you were then?
I guess, you know, put your nose to the grindstone and work, I suppose. Sit down at the table and, you know, get your tape recorder or whatever it is, your guitar or your keyboard or whatever. And it seems that there are things being said in there that you really got to listen for.
Stories, good stories.
And they're
unbelievable how he puts those words together, man. I couldn't believe it.
And they do comment on things that are going on in the world, you know. You just got to listen to it.
I've always said if there's still a country of Canada 150 years from now, and they're still playing music 150 years from now, they'll be playing Gordon Lightfoot. I'll tell you that for sure, because he wrote some masterpieces. If you just listen to how he put those words together, I can't believe anybody from Aurelia could do that.
You're not going to let him get away with that, are you?
Well, they just built a statue of him down there 3 inches taller than the Statue of Liberty.
I know. It's interesting.
So he's done something good.
It propels us onward. You know, I do 70 shows a year, so.
That's unbelievable.
You know, it's unbelievable to me. I don't believe it.
Oh, man. That's a lot of shows when you.
That's
when
a
you're
lot of
si- when you're-
shows
when
for a
you're
man,
60.
fraction your age,
We
frankly.
go everywhere, we really do.
I have to ask because I'm sure that people will say you sat down with these two guys, but everybody wants to know if the rest of us were clearing out of this room and we were a
You'd be
fly
in
on the
trouble.
wall. I am deeply flattered, let me tell you. What would you two talk about if we weren't here? Fly on the wall here's what when you two have conversation?
We can talk about them young girls that's been after us for 50 years.
Just relentless, I bet.
It's hard to keep them away.
He would talk about some of his experiences, like the time that John and Yoko stayed in his home for 5 days. And what they did there is they got them into snowmobiling, and some of the acrobatics apparently in the snowmobiling were quite remarkable.
Are you being polite when you call them acrobatics?
I don't believe that John Lennon had ever been on a snowmobile
No, they
before,
hadn't.
or Yoko. And they stayed at Ronnie's house, and that was an amazing experience. And it was big news around the city of Toronto, I'll tell you that.
I tell you what, when John and Yoko, when I found they were coming to stay at my house a couple of weeks, I got all my friends back. Everybody wanted to come by and see me for some reason or another. I don't know what. I got all of them back. They'd be coming in from Buffalo and said, "Ron, we're just passing by. I'd like to drop in and say hello if it's okay."
Listen, my last question to you both. I'm wondering, when this song is released, do you still get nervous about people's expectations or their reactions, or you past that?
I don't think you ever quit getting over nervous. I don't think, even Gordon, as many shows as he played, I guarantee you he's a little bit nervous before he steps out on that stage for the first time, because I am. I'm nervous. The fear of not going over scares an artist to death.
Do you still feel it?
I get nervous as soon as I walk in the place.
Me too. I start worrying. I've been worrying about coming down here for 2 days now.
And when do the nerves go away?
When you're through, if you get a standing ovation, that's when they go. They leave you then, if you get one.
Well, I'm sure you're both going to get one for this. Thanks so much for your time.
You can thank you. What time you get off?